Hey everybody, welcome back. Second Eric here. Got another Acid Archive Diaries for you today, number 23. And I was quite surprised to find this record in the book. I just happened to browse through the S section one day and stumbled upon this one. Even though it's not necessarily, at first glance, you can consider this one psychedelic at all, but it's definitely of the time period. It's got some of those characteristics that we all love, and I think it's a lot of it's the private pressness of it more than anything. It's a self-release from back in the day, coming out of the post-psych era. Still fits in the book, I guess. I just naturally didn't think about it until I started browsing. But today we're talking about this one. This is The Line of Time and the Plane of Now, which is actually a line from one of the songs here by Shyra Small. This came out in 1974. And I'm all about, sort of Dom's theory about showing the originals off, the original artifacts here, if you can. But this one, they've only pressed 500 copies back in the day. I don't know anybody in the vinyl community that might have this. Maybe Noble Records, I'm not sure. But this came out last year, the reissue on Numero Group. And so yeah, Shyra Small basically recorded this back in 1974. Getting funds from different parents and just people in general that kind of collected money to help her press 500 copies up. And she had a very strong passion for music, learning from the best. Joni Mitchell was a big inspiration, Ray Charles, Ella Fitzgerald, a lot of big names, soulful singers back in the day. And yeah, it was based out of a boarding school in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And I think she was from East Harlem. Grew up around there, yeah. Grew up in that neighborhood and the Wagner projects. And this was basically like her senior class music project. Her musical teacher really kind of inspired her to make this. She was just very passionate, had a pretty strong voice, and made it happen. And kind of a cool graphic art, right? It's very much a private press, self-release type of illustration going on. And this is actually the same, it's not on any particular label, but it's the same school that pressed the album The Journey of Persephone. I haven't actually listened to that record, but I know of it. It's got the same black and white sort of artwork, kind of a bizarre illustration. It's got some great tunes, man. This is one of those cases where I snatched this up right as soon as it came out last year. And ever since then, I've really been probably more streaming than actually playing the record, to be honest. I'm always listening to this driving around, Lincoln and just on road trips in general. It's just a very listenable album for me, especially the first three tracks really hook you in. Lights Gleam Lonely, Here I Stand, Cool Dude. All different tempos, but they all got the same kind of characteristics, the same subtleties, the same production styles. And I guess in general, I'd say, besides a lot of different flavors going on, I would not call this psychedelic, but it's kind of more of coming from a pop soul kind of direction with maybe some loungy jazz pop elements. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. It's very independent sounding. You can tell wherever they recorded this, if it was in their where the band practices at school or something, that could be the case. It's got a very low-key kind of production, not a lot of flourishes, nothing over the top. It's just very much a straightforward delivery, and that's what I like about it. It's very grounded. And it's got some nice little piano pieces, a lot of piano-led tracks, but it's also got some great funky drumming going on as well. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too loud or in your face, but it's just very just strutting in the background, just kind of glides along really smoothly. And I guess the only nitpicky thing for most people diving into this for the first time, they may notice right away, Shira, she's got an interesting voice. It's a little shaky, a little rocky in spots. It doesn't exactly hit all the right notes. in particular verses, but I kind of like that charm. It gives it kind of a very amateurish but very human. It's the best way I can describe it. A very human kind of record. It's not quite the outsider type of bag, but it's very much real people in the way that it's comes off really beautiful and poignant and straight to the point. And I love that about this one. Really no weak moments on here for me. Love about every track. Maybe some of the steam settles, toward near the end a little bit, maybe on side B, but even then, like In an Open Field's also a very good song. And the album title comes from The Line of Time, and The Plane of Now actually comes from one of the bigger highlights off here, Eternal Life. It's the centerpiece of the record, which was actually featured in the Wayfaring Strangers compilation from Numero. I think it's Ladies from the Canyon. Was also featured on that one. So maybe not the strongest track, but it's kind of got the most gospel-y sort of feel to it. And maybe there are hints of that with the gospel touches, but overall it's very much just a sort of coming from the stream of consciousness, like street level type of thinking in the lyricism. Very poetic at the same time. And yeah, can't rate this one enough. I really, really enjoy this one. See if I'm missing anything on the back here. Yeah, it just basically mentions everything here I mentioned. She's not really looking for fame, it says on the back. She was just kind of wanting to do this one-off project, and didn't really think about building on any singing career necessarily. So sorry about the lighting too. The sun's kind of going down as I'm recording this, but yeah, really, really enjoy this LP. Comes with a single, Numero Group sleeve. Not really a big fan of these sleeves, so I put it in a original master sleeve. Show the label here. Not really sure what the original label looked like, but and this is still in print. I'm pretty sure you can still pick this up from the Numero Group label on their website. I know Discogs, they have copies. I checked before recording this. They got like around typical prices, 25, 20 bucks, around there. So kind of a short LP too. I think it only runs about half hour long. But yeah, some low-key funk elements, but definitely come from that kind of soulful pop direction. And nothing too trippy on here at all. It's just, yeah, everything else I mentioned. So let's give the Acid Archive book a check here. And I did not bookmark this, so let's hunt for this sucker. SH, right? Or SM for small. Smith, Bob Smith, right before that one. Shyra Small, Newtown, Pennsylvania. The Line of Time and the Plane of Now, 1974. No label. And at this time I got the 2 rarity. And it's got 1 review here. I luckily found a copy of this album before all the hoopla started, but on first listen it did not live up to my expectations. After some more rounds, Shira's imaginative lyrics and striking singing voice started growing on me, with some credit also due to the supporting band of piano, bass, drums, and guitar. And that's basically all you get on this. Nothing else. The music is an elemental variety of funky jazz rock, soulful soft rock, and singer-songwriter piano music. Some listeners may flinch over a few amateurish vocal faults, but most will see these as colorful nuances that enrich the unique singing style. It's a good way to put it. Raised in Harlem, but enrolled at a boarding school in Pennsylvania for 4 years, Shyra Small recorded this as a senior class project. She overcame the adversity of the circumstances and made a wonderful album with limited resources. Eternal Life, with its imaginative lyrics about living onward to the next dimension, has become her most famous song after appearing on the Ladies of the Canyon CD. Other standouts include my favorite, Finger Painter, an up-tempo jazzy rocker with dissonant lead guitar and vivid lyrics. And that is from SLB. I forget who that is. Let's look here. SLB. Scott Lupton Bubrig. Scott Bubrig. So there you have it. Shyra Small. Kind of a small LP. Definitely recommend this one. Probably love it more than the last two that I did, actually. So give it a shot. I showed this one last year. I'm sure you guys might recognize this one. And I've definitely brought that down to the bar to DJ a couple times. It's a fun one. It's got a lot of great grooves on there. And some of her vocals, like I said, the first 3 tracks really take off on that record. So anyways, I think the next Acid Archive Diary, gonna definitely go back towards more somewhat semi-familiar sounds for you guys. I just kind of like showing off the ones that I know people may or may not talk about, don't get highlighted very often, but I'll show something that's, you know, a little more familiar, something they can find maybe a little cheaper, 50 bucks or so, because as we all know, Acid Archives don't fool around. They don't even have Ultimate Spinach in there. Well, they got the, I think it's the live album, Live at the Unicorn album, but I was actually planning on maybe doing an Ultimate Spinach, and it's even too mainstream for the Acid Archives, so. As far as any other records that came in, you may be able to see that. I can't see that because the stop and pause button's in the way on my camera. But I got that one. We'll talk about it later. And then I got one from Discogs, hopefully coming in soon. So, you know, got stuff kind of flowing in pretty slowly. I've severely slowed down on my purchasing. Only, you know, did a couple things in June, and plus the Fraction Moonblood, the pre-order. So just very much slowing down as far as online purchases or anything over 20 bucks. There's reasons for that. Some things have kind of changed financially. And then I also did plan on a trip going to Utah this year, which I think that's kind of in the can too now. Different bills coming in, and I'll talk about that a little more later, but yeah, it's not a good time financially for me as far as you know, having fun with my toys, I guess, one way to put it. So there you have it. Acid Archive Diaries number 23, Shyra Small. I recommend it. It might possibly be on Spotify if you guys use that too. So till next time, see you soon.